right, all right. So we are back. Let's see. I think we're live already. Turn it on right here. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to you a brand new episode of You Have a Collect Call From. And let me finish setting up right here. Let me see. How is everybody doing? Let's see. Let's go ahead and see. Let me pop out the chat here. So they fixed up the screen, so that's definitely a plus right there. Earlier on when we were on, it was kind of crappy where you guys couldn't see the individual. So now the way they set it up, the individual, let me move this a little bit higher here. See, we got our first comment. FYP, gracias, Anna. Highly appreciate that. Hell yeah. I was trying to find you on YouTube yesterday. Yesterday, did I stream? I think on YouTube I streamed kind of late yesterday. Let me see. Adam B. Just getting getting and doing well. Slept all day. How's your day? I can't complain. You know, I've been streaming all day, on and off, every few hours, like every 3 hours or so. I just found this Maricopa County stream, so I've been kind of doing that since we didn't have any parole board hearings today. So, hey, thank God. You know, hey, shout out to Maricopa County for allowing this. Instead of having nothing to stream, we got Maricopa County. Oh, let me fix this up here. There we go. Where's everybody tuning in from today? If you guys don't mind, sharing. And it looks like they got us muted right now. If you're on YouTube, you can see that they got us muted right now. I don't have any control. I got no control over that. All right, there goes the police. And everything's working right now. What kind of cases do you guys like watching? This is just like pretty much the what is this called? I can't even what was that? Adam B, all right, thumbs up. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is the initial appearance. Anna, thank you. Highly appreciate it. Appreciate those corazones you're sending this way. And let me see. Adam B is coming in from Nova Scotia. I know I'm definitely butchering that right there. Man, it's freezing down there up there where you're at up north. Let me see. Leslie, 2018. Hey, gracias. And user, thank you for that heart right there. Highly appreciate it. That gifter. And then we got Leslie coming in from Oregon. That's right. We got T coming in from Maine. We got Barrios. Is this live, right? You know it.
All right.
Good afternoon, maybe seated.
Just making sure the toilet's working. Where you at? Why? California. We got Barrios coming in from California. That's right.
This is the time set for the initial appearance calendar for the 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar for January 20th, 2025. The order is made for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 1st of this month will apply to all hearings on this all matters on this calendar. I'm going to call each of you up one by one to come to the podium. I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then let you know why you are here, whether or not an attorney has been appointed to you, what your upcoming court dates are, and whether or not you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions will be. I ask that if you have any questions during the time that you are up here, if you will please hold your questions until I finish advising you of all of these things. So the first person I'm going to call is Logan Waraday. If you will please come to the podium. And Tammy Rosa, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
All right. Let's see who today's winners are. What do you think this gentleman's here for?
Sir, can you please tell me your first and last name and your date of birth?
Logan Wardy, February 1st, 1994.
You are here today because there is a grand jury charged you with the following: promoting prison contraband, a Class 5 felony, and theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. The date of the offenses are December 27th, 2024, and December 18th, 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You have a cash-only bond in the amount of $4,000 per the grand jury warrant. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you do need to, I believe you're on parole, probation or parole. You need to contact them within 72 hours of your release. Also, please remember that if you do post bond, you do need to appear for your hearing. If you fail to appear for your hearing, any bond posted would be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and you would be subject to bond again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Next, that's fast. Out the way.
Lescombe, if you will please come to the podium, and Mr. Paul, if you will have a seat in the chair. Hello, ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Tammy Rosa Lescombe, April 20th, 1966.
You were here on a new case. You were charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or instrument, a Class 3 felony, and criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status hearing on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 29th at 8:30. You will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $30,000. If you are able to post bond, you will be released to pretrial services on electronic monitoring. Also, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued or subsequently issued, you must obey the terms of those orders. I caution you that you may not reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted one civil standby with law enforcement to go with you to help you collect your essential belongings. Also, please be advised that if you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. That takes care of everything that we have to, if you are able to post bond and you fail to appear for your court dates, you will forfeit your bond. A warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you will likely be subject to bond again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here this afternoon. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
So this is live, and this is actually out of Maricopa.
Mr. Paul, if you will please come to the courtroom, and Mr. Montiel, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Maricopa County in Arizona. This is a live feed, and they do have court today.
Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Tyler Paul, born on January 7, 2000.
You are here because of a probation violation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 27th at 8:30. The probation warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you will need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You must appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and any bond posted would be forfeited. That takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Next, Mike, Jen writes, Mike
Mr.
County.
Montiel, if you will please come to the podium. And
Tabby writes,
Mr.
2000.
Benali, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Child, what in the world are you doing?
Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Ezekiel Montiel, February 4th, 1995.
Thank you. You were here on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of unlawful imprisonment, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of threatening or intimidation, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of assault with intent to injure, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 9:30, and then you will have a preliminary hearing on January 29th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $20,000. If you are able to post bond, you'll be released to pretrial services where you will be on electronic monitoring. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, and you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim or victims. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that have been issued, you must obey the terms of those orders. You may not reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You will be permitted when civil standby with law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. You are also cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you could be charged with a Class 6 felony. That takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Next. He looks like an emo. Oh, rockero.
Mr. Benali, if you will please come to the podium, and Mr. Sanchez, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
All right, next up.
Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Lapahi Benali, October 6, 1996.
You were here on a new case where you were charged with 1 count of kidnap or apprehension of injury, a Class 2 felony. 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a Class 3 felony. 1 count of discharging a firearm within a city limit, a Class 6 felony. 1 count of assault with an intent to injure, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of DUI, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30, and then a preliminary hearing on January 29th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $35,000. If you are able to post bond, you will be released to pretrial services on electronic monitoring. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to initiate any contact with the alleged victim or victims. You are not to possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued or subsequently issued, you must obey the terms of those orders. You may not reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You will be permitted when civil standby with law enforcement to help you retrieve your essential belongings, and you are also cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. That takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
So they are in they're in lockup right now. They just
Mr.
got there.
Mr. Sanchez, if you will please come to the podium, and Mr. Dixon, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
They just haven't been processed yet. So right now they're about to get
Hello.
processed.
How you doing?
Can you please state your first and last name?
Avery Sanchez,
Okay,
Ladies,
and your
I
date
think
of
he
birth?
might be single.
10/14 of 1980.
You were here because you have a warrant out of Pima County.
Right.
An attorney has been appointed to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing on January 23rd at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you will need to comply with the release conditions that are reflected on your release orders. But I believe that Pima County is probably going to come pick you up because your hearing is on January 23rd. So they're probably going to come and pick you up sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Okay, so if you step to your left, the officer will give you your paper.
So what happens with my my OID
OR and everything.
You're not on OR anymore because you failed to appear for your hearing, so they
Will I have to bond out, or will that stay as a? Let's say I bond out, will that still be valid for me later?
No.
I'm not understanding your question, so this is what I will tell you as I understand it, okay? So if you were released in Pima County on your own recognizance, you did not appear for a hearing, so that judge issued a warrant for your arrest. That warrant had a secured appearance bond of $10,000. So in order for you to be released, you will have to pay the bond, the secured appearance bond of $10,000.
Right. No.
I don't know anything else about what's going on in Pima County.
No, I'm asking about here.
I don't know.
Because I was an OR on the ankle monitor. I'm asking, does that stay set? Because if I bond out of there, will I have to bond?
I don't know what case you're talking about right now because I don't see it. Because right now the only thing I see, so if you had any other matters that you were seen on, I'm not looking at that right now. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
So this is Maricopa County.
Mr. Dixon, can you please come to the podium? And
Pima.
Mr. McClure, if you will have a seat in the chair.
Maricopa. Pima is not until 2 more hours.
Your last name and your date of birth.
Timothy Dixon, March 22nd, 1990.
Okay, you are here because you have a warrant for failing to appear for a court date. Why were you in Greenlee County?
I turned myself in, Your Honor.
For this warrant?
Yes, because I couldn't make it here. So
I just wanted to make sure I have like all the information that I need to know. So a warrant was issued because you failed to appear for your court date. An attorney was already appointed to you in this matter. You have a status conference hearing on January 30th at 8:30. The warrant had a cash-only bond in the amount of $15,500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond posted will be forfeited. Another warrant will be issued for your arrest and bond will be imposed again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Yes, sir. I did have a question. Would you happen to have a release date?
The only information I have is what your next court date is.
Oh, thank you.
Next. Where you at?
Mr. McClure,
where you at?
Please come to the
Where
podium.
you at?
And
he called her sir.
Mr. Sanders, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Isaac McClure. Who else?
Your date of birth.
12/7/87.
Thank you. You are here because you have 3 violations of probation and 1 new case. So I'm first going to talk to you about the new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of false report to law enforcement, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all the counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 29th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. That is a placeholder bond because you do have your violations of probation, and so that allows for you to get credit for time while you are here waiting to address your probation violation matters. So on your 3 violations of probation, I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 27th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 per case. So your total bond within that matter would be $750. And with the $50 on your new case, your total bond secured appearance is $800. If you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. You do need to make sure that you attend your court hearings. If you fail to appear, any bond posted will be forfeited, and another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you'd be subject to bond again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Adios, amigo.
Mr. Sanders, will you please come to the podium? And
antisocial.
Mr. Flores, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Thank you for joining. Highly appreciated. And anybody else that's joined, I see there's
Hello,
104 of
sir,
you.
can you please state
Tap,
your
tap,
first
tap,
and
por
last name and your
favor.
date of birth?
John Sanders, November 21st, 1998.
Thank you. You are here because a warrant was issued when you failed to appear for a court date. An attorney was already appointed to you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you're able to post your bond, you do need to make sure that you attend your court date. If you fail to appear, the bond posted will be forfeited, another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you'll be subject to bond again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you will step
am I going to jail?
You're going to be in custody until if you post your bond, you can get out. If you do not have the money to post bond, you will be seen on January 27th, which is next Monday.
You ain't going
Next
nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll be in here till next Monday?
If you don't post bond.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, sir, he looks a little bit disheveled and disoriented.
Mr. Flores, can you please come to the
Junior,
podium?
$1 million question, anti-social. All right, everybody,
And
welcome.
Ms. Vargas, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
All right, looks like
Hello,
he's
sir,
already
can you please
wearing
state
the
your
colors.
first last name and your date of birth?
My name is Albert Flores, 01/11/1991.
Thank you. You are here on 3 matters. You have 1 warrant out of Flagstaff Justice Court, and then you have a warrant out of Aquatic Justice Court, and a warrant out of Manny C Justice Court. So I'm first going to talk about your warrant out of Flagstaff Justice Court. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on January 23rd at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $305 in that matter. And then your Agua Fria Justice Court matter, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a court date it's an arraignment hearing on January 22nd at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond. It's a placeholder. It's a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. It is a placeholder bond to just make sure that you get transported to that hearing. And then your Manny C Justice Court, I also appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You have an arraignment hearing on January 22nd at 10:30, and again, you have another placeholder bond in the amount of $50. So between all 3 cases, your total secured appearance bond is $405. If you post your bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for all of your court dates. If you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited, a warrant will be issued, and you'll be subject to bond again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Ms. Vargas, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Bingsley, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
All right, so anybody is wondering, this is Maricopa County.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Sarah Vargas, August 18th, 1993.
Thank you. You are here because you have a warrant out of Highland Justice Court. Due to the nature of the offense, you are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. You will have an arraignment hearing on February 6th at 9 o'clock. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for that court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for that court date, another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and bond would likely be imposed.
Okay.
Okay, so that takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Man, they didn't say what she was there for.
If you will please come into the courtroom.
All right, and our next participant in The Price is Wrong. Let's see who it is, ladies and gentlemen. Hey,
Hello,
Aaron.
Sir, can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, Richard Billingsley, November the 11th, 1977.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a warrant out of West Mesa Justice Court. Due to the nature of the charge, you are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. You will have an arraignment hearing on February 4th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for that court date. Do you promise to appear for that court date?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, and a bond would likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jamie,
Ms.
thank you.
Holton, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Taylor, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Jamie, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciated. Always remember, it's free 99, doesn't cost you
Hello,
a
can
cent.
you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Tasha Holton, 615 of 82.
You are here on a new case. You were charged with possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, possession of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Hey, Wendy, 740, thank you. And Travis, thank you for the follow. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Hey,
Mr. Taylor, if you will please come to the podium.
Every new sub is getting us closer to that 15,000 mark. Megan, or Megs, MS, gracias.
And your date of birth.
Andrew Taylor, February 23rd, 1987.
You were here because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is November 30th of 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for that court date. Do you promise to appear?
Absolutely.
If you fail to appear for that court date or either one of those court dates, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. A bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
That's like a super Edgar there. All right, Megan MS writes, 2 years later is wild. Moon Eyes, thank you for sharing the live. Krista, where is this? This is going to be Maricopa County in Arizona. And this is one of the few states that I know that has live court hearings on holidays, the weekends, all day, every day. I don't think anybody agrees to go to court. Of course, they will say yes, laughing out loud. Tita, thank you for sharing the live. Krista, oh, nice. Let me see. Sebastian, close. I mean, I don't like your hat. Gracias. Oh, that's a different strokes for different folks. Don't tripas, chili tripas. Puro los Dodgers 213 y que. Let me see right here. We got I said Maricopa close to me.
Oh, okay, interpreter present.
All right.
I am the interpreter. I'm right here.
Interpreter? Ah, man, they got a T-Mo interpreter again.
You can hear the court. Okay. So, Mr. Garcia, if you will please come into the courtroom.
Mr. Garcia.
Señor Garcia, si puede entrar al tribunal.
Entrele, compa.
I need an interpreter.
Okay, so we were just advised that Mr. Garcia does not need an interpreter. So, but I do need for you to stay on the line, sir, because I do have other matters that do require an interpreter. Mr. Garcia, can you please state your first and last?
I'll wait for instructions.
Francisco Garcia.
And your date of birth?
January 28th, 1987.
Thank you. You were here on a new case.
Okay,
you were charged with possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both charges. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you to pretrial services, which would include electronic monitoring. You do have to promise to appear for that court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll have additional release conditions in that you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or initiate any contact with the alleged victim. And
hey, he said yes, sir. Right? Did everybody hear that?
You cannot.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know I wasn't tripping.
If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment, you have to obey those terms or those orders. You cannot possess any weapons. You may not reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted one civil standby with law enforcement to help you collect your belongings.
Okay.
And you are cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
All right. He's out of here. All right, next up in the winner's circle, it's going to be who? I don't know.
He gets the yellow one.
Hey, Lexi RN, thank you for following. Highly appreciate it. Next in line, laughing out loud.
Yes.
All right, hey, don't forget, sharing is caring.
This matter does require an interpreter, Mr. Interpreter, I believe.
Otro.
Mr. Yaxiola Ruiz, will you please come into the courtroom?
Your Honor, there's two of them on the docket.
Jose?
Señor Garcia Robles, puede.
Entrele, compa. And don't forget, share, and tap. It's free 99 and sharing is caring. And it's highly appreciated over here. I am
Sir,
the
can you
interpreter.
please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
El señor puede indicar su primer nombre y su apellido y su fecha de nacimiento.
José Rodrigo Gagiola Ruiz, el 13 de noviembre del 86.
Entrale, compa.
José Rodrigo Marcelo Ruiz, November 13 of 1986.
I haven't done any full trials yet, but maybe I will one day.
I just want to confirm that he said November 13th, 1986.
Solo quiero confirmar, mencionó noviembre 13 de 1986.
Ajá.
Karina, his date of birth
Yes.
has been wrong.
Tim, thank you for the
It's
follow.
November 13th, 1986. We have November 3rd, 1985.
Sí.
You were here on a new case.
Está aquí en un nuevo caso.
You were charged with one count of resisting arrest with physical force, a Class 6 felony.
Está siendo acusado de resistirse al arresto con fuerza física con un clase delito 6.
I did find probable cause as to that offense.
Jana, thank you for the follow.
Sí encontré causa probable a esa ofensa.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Y sí puse a un abogado para que lo represente.
You will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30.
Tendrá una audiencia de conferencia sobre el estado del caso el 4 de febrero a las 8:30.
You will have a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30.
Y tendría una audiencia preliminar el 16 a las 8:30.
I'm going to release you on your own recognizance.
Lo voy a liberar bajo su propia responsabilidad.
You do have to promise to appear for that court date.
Y tiene que prometer para presentarse a esa cita judicial.
Do you promise to appear for your court dates?
¿Promete aparecer a su cita judicial?
Sí.
Sí.
Please be advised that if you fail to appear for those court dates,
Por favor, tengan en cuenta que si no se presenta esas fechas de judiciales,
al bote,
that a warrant will be issued for your arrest,
se le estará asignando una orden de arresto
and a bond would likely be imposed.
y tal vez se le impondrá una fianza.
Do you understand?
Entiende.
Hey, you're like my wife, Nene. I don't understand why she doesn't say the sentence. They just got arrested like 2 hours ago.
So if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
De un paso a la izquierda, el oficial le dará su papeleo.
Hey, every time I tell my wife, like, hey, so-and-so got busted.
Axiola Ruiz, if you will please come to the podium.
No, I mean in English to interpret. Oh.
Joel, la tía Robles, por favor, puede presentarse en el podio.
Oh, man. Make himself crack up over here.
Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Puede indicar su primer nombre, apellido y su fecha de nacimiento.
Joel Eduardo Gagiola Ruiz, 17 de octubre del 93.
Joel Eduardo Garcia Ruiz, October 17 of 1993.
You were here on two matters.
Está aquí sobre dos asuntos.
They are both new cases.
Ambos son nuevos casos.
I'm going to start with your current case.
Voy a empezar con su caso actual.
You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony.
Saca la bolsita.
Se le está acusando de un cargo de confesión de droga peligrosa.
And then 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a class 6 felony.
He had a pipa on him.
Y posesión o cargo de posesión de parafernalia. Es una clase 6 delito.
I did find probable cause as to both counts.
Sí encontré causa probable después de ambos cargos.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Sí designé a un abogado para que lo represente.
You will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30.
Tendrá una audiencia de conferencia sobre el estado del caso el 4 de febrero a las 8:30.
You will have a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30.
Mauricio, gracias por el follow.
Y tendría una audiencia preliminar febrero 6 a las 8:30.
I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance.
I think she heard me complain.
Y lo voy a liberar bajo su propia responsabilidad.
Hey, she might be watching us.
On
Imagine
your
that.
second case,
En su segundo caso,
a direct complaint was filed.
una denuncia directa se solicitó.
You were charged with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony.
Es acusado de un cargo de posesión de droga peligrosa, una clase 4 delito.
1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony.
Y posesión de parafernalia de droga, delito grave 6, clase 6, perdón.
The date of the alleged offenses are May 10th of 2020.
La fecha de las ofensas alegadas son el 10 de mayo de 2020.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Sí asigné a un abogado para que lo represente.
And you will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30.
Y tendrá una conferencia del estado de su caso el 4 de febrero a las 8:30.
And a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30.
Thank you, Stephanie A, for sharing.
Y una audiencia preliminar febrero 6 a las 8:30.
Yeah.
I am also inclined to release you on your own recognizance on this matter as well.
Y también lo voy a liberar bajo su propia responsabilidad de este asunto también.
Me, thank you for sharing.
Please be advised that if you fail to appear for your court date,
Crazy Cat 101, thank you for
por favor
sharing.
tengan cuenta que si no se presenta a esta cita judicial,
a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
Nick, thank you for
una
sharing.
orden de arresto se estará emitiendo para su arresto.
And the hearing and a bond would likely be imposed.
Chepe.
Y una fianza se le estará imponiendo.
Chepe, thank you for sharing.
Do you understand?
Entiende.
¿Me entiendes, Méndez, o te explico, Federico?
You have to answer out loud.
¿Tiene que responder fuerte?
Ah, huevo.
Sí.
Yes.
If you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Por favor, dé un paso a la izquierda. El oficial le dará su papeleo.
Okay, gracias.
C, Mark. C is in vivo.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is live. It's live. This is Maricopa County and Arizona. Phoenix, I would assume. I'm not from there, but that's just a guess on my part here. But anybody from that area, if you guys can go ahead and confirm.
Okay, what about Mr. Cesar Robledo?
Jerry, thank you for the follow.
Need an interpreter?
Crazy Cat 101. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I'm going to call the interpreter matters then.
Again?
So, Mr. Cesar
You got any in the
Robledo,
Miami-Dade?
come to the
Nah.
podium?
I don't know anybody out that way.
Vamos a ver.
Can you see
Cesar.
California parole hearings? Nope. Cannot at 5 p.m.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Do they stream them in
Señor, ¿puede
Miami-Dade?
indicar su primer nombre, apellido y su fecha de nacimiento?
César López Robledo, 2 de enero de 1995.
No, órale, compa.
Cesar Lopez Dobledo, January 2nd of 1995.
You are here today because you were charged with one count of forgery or possession of forged instruments, a Class 4 felony.
Está aquí hoy porque se le acusa de un cargo de falsificación o presentación de instrumentos de delito grave.
I have found probable cause as to that charge.
They do, Stephanie.
Encontré causas probables agregadas a esos cargos.
I was surprised
I
too.
did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Asigné a un abogado para que lo represente.
You will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30.
Tendría una conferencia del estado del caso el 4 de febrero a las 8:30.
You will have a preliminary hearing on February 6th
Yes,
at
it is,
8:30.
Nick.
Y tendrá una audiencia preliminar el febrero 6 a las 8:30.
You will be released on your own recognizance.
Será liberado bajo su propia responsabilidad.
You do have to promise to appear for that court date.
Tiene que prometer comparecer a esa cita judicial.
Do you promise to appear?
Yes, sir.
Did he say yes, sir? Hey, thank you, Crazy.
Mr. Interpreter, I'm waiting for you to interpret.
He said yes, sir.
¿Promete aparecer?
Sí.
Yep. That's what I thought. That's like
If
the
you
third
fail to
time.
appear for your court date,
Y si no se presenta a su cita judicial,
a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
se le estará emitiendo una orden de arresto.
And a bond will be imposed.
Maybe she looks like a man.
Y
I don't
se le
know.
estará imponiendo una fianza.
Do you understand?
¿Entienden?
Mendes.
Sí.
Yes.
If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
You know what? I'm not sure,
Mr.
but
Por
Morales,
favor, puede dar un paso a la izquierda.
in Arizona, for whatever reason, they stream like it's like Texas. They stream their court hearings, but this is the only
Mr.
state that I know
Morales, if
of
you will please come to the podium.
that they stream every day of the year, 365
Señor
days a
Morales,
year,
por favor, puede venir al podio.
every day, all day, every day, around the clock. Like every
Sir,
3
can you
hours, they
please
have court
state your
hearings.
first and last name and your date of birth.
El señor puede indicar su primer nombre, apellido y su fecha de nacimiento.
Diego Armando Morales Lugo,
I got you, Aunt Migo.
2 junio 86.
Diego Armando Vladisu, 2 June of 86.
I think you're right,
Can
Stephanie.
you repeat the date of birth? I have the date of birth of June 21st, 1986.
¿Puede repetir la fecha de nacimiento? Tengo yo junio 21 del 86.
2 de junio de 1986.
June 2 of 1986.
This also has the wrong date of birth. So you were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony.
Se le acusa de cargo de posesión de una droga peligrosa, una clase delito 4.
Possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony.
Hey, that's funny. And you almost got me, man. I had to read it a few times before I figured it out.
Posesión de droga paraphernalia, clase 6 grave, delito.
And possession of a weapon in a drug offense, a class 4 felony.
Y posesión de una arma grave relacionada con droga, un delito clase 4.
I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts.
Sí encontré causa probable después de los 3 cargos.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Asigné a un abogado para que lo represente.
You do have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30.
Tiene una audiencia de conferencia sobre el estado del asunto, o del caso, perdón, el 4 de febrero a las 8:30.
And a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30.
Y una audiencia preliminar, febrero 6 a las 8:30.
I am going to release you on your own recognizance.
Lo voy a liberar bajo su propia responsabilidad.
You do have to promise to appear for that court date, for those court dates.
Y debe prometer presentarse a esas citas judiciales.
Do you promise to appear?
¿Promete comparecer?
You have to answer out loud.
Tiene que responder fuerte.
Sí, me comprometo.
Yes, I promise.
If you fail to appear for your hearing, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Si no comparece ante su cita judicial, probablemente se le estará impugnando una fianza. ¿Entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Sí, por favor, puede dar un paso a la izquierda, el papel.
Oh man, hey, and
Mr.
man,
Ramos,
that was a good one,
if
man.
you will please come to the podium.
That was a good one, man. You got me busting up. That one was really good,
Sí,
man.
Ramos, si por favor puede venir al podio.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and date of birth?
Asael Ramos,
Señor,
el
puede
8 de
indicar.
diciembre, 8 de diciembre de 1976.
Disculpe, señor, me repite, pero no lo escuché claramente.
Ok. Asael Ramos, 8 de diciembre de 1976.
Rafael Ramos, December 8 of 1976.
Eso, compa.
You are here because you have a child support arrest warrant out of family court.
Child support?
Está aquí porque tiene una orden de arresto por manutención infantil en un puerto familiar.
You have a return hearing on January 28th at 10 o'clock.
Tiene una audiencia de regreso el 28 de enero a las 10.
Because this is a civil matter, you are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney.
Porque esto es un asunto civil, no tiene derecho a un abogado designado por el tribunal.
It's rough out there right now.
You have a purge amount of $650.
Tiene un monto de $650.
On the bright
that
side,
must be paid in order for you to be released.
if he does start paying child support, he could claim them as
Que
tax
se debe
on
de
his
pagar
taxes.
para que lo puedan liberar.
What is this modded a GTA?
This concludes everything that I can do here today.
Esto completa todo lo que puedo hacer aquí el día de hoy.
So if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Yeah, no, I heard it too. Hey, I heard it on TikTok.
A la izquierda, el oficial le dará su papeleo.
So it has to be true. That's where I get all my news. Use that now.
Thank you.
Hey, imagine being locked up. Hey, imagine you're locked up and they ask you what you're busted for, and they're like, not paying child support. Compa, no pude pagar por los niños, compa.
I believe that concludes all of our
Can we see a 360 of the hat?
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your business. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yeah, Jonathan Granados, May 17, 1981.
You were here because you were charged with one count of theft of means of transportation, class 3 felony. I did find probable cause as to that charge, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 6th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear for your court date?
Yes, ma'am.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that takes care of everything that we have to do here today. Officers handing you your paperwork now.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor.
ADH baby, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate it. And also don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Please and por favor. Hey, thank you guys for getting us up to 20,000 corazones hearts. Hopefully we're in the FYP. Tita, gracias. The doctor, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate it. Do they got anybody else?
Cesar Ramirez, date of birth March 30th.
No, this is real court.
1982. Is here on a new case. He is unable to participate in person because he is unable to function at this time. He was charged with one count of criminal trespass of a critical public service facility, a Class 5 felony,
Como chinga,
and one
thank you
count
for the
of
follow.
criminal damage or defacement, a Class 5 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 29th at 8:30. He has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. If he's able to post bond, he will be released to pretrial services, which will include electronic monitoring. He will be advised that he cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime or initiate any contact with the victims. He's not to possess any weapons. I will meet with Mr. Ramirez, and if any changes are needed, I will do so either on the record or in person. Siobhan White, date of birth July 9th, 1976, is here on a new case. He's not here in person due to concerns of self-harm. He was charged with one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony. I did find probable cause as to that charge. I did appoint an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 29th at 8:30. He has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $30,000. If he's able to post bond, he will not be able to return to the scene of the alleged crime, initiate contact with any of the alleged victims, and he's not to possess any weapons. And he will also be cautioned that if he violates the no contact order in this matter, that he could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. I will meet with Mr. White. If any changes are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. This concludes the 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar. We stand in recess until 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So that'll be okay. So for anybody that wants to tune back in, let me see. In about an hour and 7 minutes, they're gonna start up the courts for Pima County, which is another county in Arizona. So that one normally, they'll do a few hearings. Hopefully today's Monday, right? Yeah. So it'll be on today, and then at 8 o'clock. They'll be doing another one. So it's an hour difference. So it'll be right now it's about to be 5. So in 2 hours. So 1 hour is gonna be the Pima County. In 2 hours it'll be the next one for Maricopa, which is the one we're looking at right now. Hello, Lisa, and welcome. Crazy Cat Lady 101. Hey, so if you guys got any questions for me, I'll feel free to ask them right now, and I'll be more than happy to answer them to the best of my ability here. I know somebody asked right now if these were real court hearings. Yes, these were real. See you then. That's right. Let me see. This is Arizona. I'm in Arizona. Yeah, Jennifer, that was Arizona. Why did they? What? Let me see. Are you staying on live right now? I could stay on for a bit. I mean, shit. I don't know what to talk about. If you guys got questions, I'll be more than happy to chat it up with you guys. But yeah. So 1 hour Pima, 2 hours Maricopa. Why do they do courts so late? So to be honest with you, I have that's a question I was asking yesterday. So apparently, from what people in the state told me is that they arrest so many people just to keep the flow going. They're just constantly rotating, because they have court hearings all throughout the day. I'm gonna read up the time, so like that. If you guys are interested in knowing what the schedule is, you guys will know right here. So let me pull up this my bookmark page over here that I saved, because if not, I would not be able to get back to this page. Where the hell did I put it? Oh no, it's not there. Hold up. Right here, court calendar. So okay, in Arizona, and this is specifically for Maricopa County. Okay. It reads on their website: initial appearance calendars are heard 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., which is that's the one we're on right now. There's another one at 8, 11 p.m., 2 a.m., and 5 a.m. So they run them every 3-4 hours. Okay, so then I answered that question. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Starlight? How's it going? Welcome, Starlight. Let me see here. Let me see. So yeah, so that's why they always have court. I guess they have an influx of people just getting arrested all day, every day, specifically DUIs and domestic violences. Do you cover specific parole hearings from Arizona? If you ever given a name, so in Arizona they're not open to the public. But if you do give me a name, I could get a hold of the audio transcript of that hearing. That is public record that I have looked into. So if that's something that you want to do, I could most definitely try to do it. I've never personally done it, but I know it can be done because I've reached out to the parole board in Arizona, because I was trying to figure out if they do offer virtual hearings, but they don't. I do certain states. So if you want to know what states I do listen in on, here's the list. Okay, these are my top states here. It's either normally Utah or Connecticut. All right, those are the first two top that you're gonna see me when I'm streaming on YouTube. Other states that I do is Pennsylvania, Iowa. Iowa's another favorite right there. We also got Ohio. We also do Vermont. I really don't do that often. Minnesota. That's another good one. We also do Oregon, Kansas City. We do Illinois. And an Illinois one is coming up on the 29th. We also sometimes do Louisiana, and my newest favorite is gonna be Kentucky. Man, Kentucky is off the chain. Those hearings, man, they'll knock your socks off, and then definitely leave you with your mouth open with some of the stuff they be talking about right there. Let me see. Jennifer wrote, oh wow, thank you. And let me see here. Chicago, you need to do. So I have done Chicago. They only do them once a month, or once every 2 months, or once every few months. Let me see. Isaac's dad writes Arizona. Unfortunately, they don't do. Chicago, they do, which is Illinois. Let me see. Tara, yes. The guy tried to my sister-in-law, and what when she refused to. Has he gone up to parole yet, or is it something that's going to be coming up in the future? What city in Ohio do you watch? So in Ohio, let me see. Ohio, So Ohio is not a state. I mean, it's not a city. It's I do the parole board hearings. So that would be for the whole state, for the whole for all the penitentiaries in Ohio whenever they do run them. I don't do any court ones. The only ones that I do for court like this would be Arizona, and then sometimes I'll do Texas, which because they make it easy to be able to watch these hearings. You don't have to log in or anything. You just go to their webpage, click on a link, boom, and it'll bring you up to the hearing as long as you're logged in. So if you see this blue screen or this red screen behind me, that's a screen that it gives you when they don't have a hearing on. Whenever the hearings start, then it'll log you into the Zoom, if that makes any sense. So yeah. I have been looking at some other counties. I was looking at Scottsdale. I was also looking at Wisconsin. Let me see. Wyoming, I was also looking because somebody had mentioned to me that in Wyoming they offer them to be streamed. And then let me see. San Juan County, Washington also. And so these are counties or cities or states that I'm looking into possibly streaming. But at least a lot of these other states, they don't allow you to stream. There is a notice before clicking onto the stream. It'll tell you not to rebroadcast it or live stream it or anything like that. So those states I won't do because I'm not trying to have anybody come knock on my door and me end up on one of these live streams. No, not today. Let me see. Are the guys gonna call in today? You know what? Starlet, I've been lollygagging it, so I haven't had anybody on with any prison phone calls. That's another thing that we do here. We do prison phone calls. We do interviews from prison. We do releases from prison. We do video calls. You should definitely check out my profile. I'm sure if you're into this type of streaming, you will find something interesting on there. Also check out the YouTube page. On the YouTube page, I have a huge archive of different interviews from different individuals. If you go check out this profile here on TikTok, you're gonna see one of the first releases I did which was back in 2014 in Centinela State Prison in March. That video has gotten 1.5 million views. I wish my other videos would do like that, but apparently they haven't yet. But I'm definitely pushing forward, and hopefully one day that everything that I put out it'll get huge numbers. Let me see, Jade. What time do you start streaming court every day? It varies. Normally the Board of Parole hearings I start Pacific Standard Time. I normally start about 6 a.m. in the morning, and then sometimes I'll stream all the way until 4 p.m. But I'm not necessarily on the whole time. It just depends on my availability for the day. Sometimes I'll just leave the streams running, and then I gotta go on about my day and take care of whatever I gotta do. I just looked up Oregon. They do allow certain cases to be live streamed. It said Oregon State, and as far as court, that's interesting. Then I'll go ahead and look that up. Hey, Hot Mess Express, gracias, highly appreciate that rose right there. And hey, you know what? If you haven't done so, please do so. Hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free 99. And share the stream with your loved ones and with those you don't even love. But anyhow, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna take a break for about an hour. I'll be back about 6 o'clock. If you're in LA or California, that'll be your local time. Yeah, it definitely says it varies from case to case. Okay, I'll go ahead and look it up. I'm gonna go ahead and spend some time with my wife and my daughter for a bit, and then I'll be back I'll be back in about an hour. All right. So make sure you got the notifications turned on so you are notified when we do go live. All right. I am Collect Call James. You are watching. You have a Collect Call From, and like I said around here, it lights like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out. A rato, y I'll be back